The third beta version of Update 3.1 just dropped, and My Day's kit has undergone some massive changes. This time, the adjustments are so significant that My Day has transitioned from a questionable unit to a truly viable character. In this video, I'll break down all the changes to My Day's kit, from the revamped ultimate and talent to the reworked Eidolons and traces. Whether you're planning to pull for My Day or are just curious about the state of the character, there's a lot to unpack. Let's start with the biggest changes: My Day's ultimate and talent. Previously, My Day's ultimate felt clunky. It restored HP and dealt damage to 3 enemies with a 100% base chance to taunt the target and their adjacent targets. While useful, it lacked synergy with his overall playstyle. Now, it's a whole different story. The reworked ultimate introduces the death-proof mechanic, which significantly boosts My Day's survivability. Upon activation, My Day gains death-proof for 2 turns. During this time, he restores 10% of his max HP after being attacked. The ultimate also deals imaginary damage equal to 160% of his max HP to a single target and 100% to adjacent enemies. Additionally, it taunts enemies for 2 turns, forcing them to attack My Day. This change fundamentally shifts his playstyle, making him a strategic, tanky character who can soak up damage while retaliating effectively. My Day's talent has also been reworked to revolve around a unique charge system. For every 1% of HP lost, My Day gains 1 charge point, up to a maximum of 200 points. Once he reaches 100 points, he enters Vendetta mode, restoring 25% of his max HP, advancing his turn by 100% and increasing his max HP by 50%. However, his defense drops to 0 during this mode. At the start of each turn, My Day automatically uses his enhanced skill, Kingslayer Be King. If his charge points reach 150 while in Vendetta mode, My Day takes an additional action to unleash his second enhanced skill, Godslayer Be God. Should he take fatal damage in Vendetta mode, My Day clears his charge points, exits the mode, and restores 50% of his max HP. For players focused on HP builds, this talent introduces a new layer of strategy. The synergy between his ultimate's death-proof mechanic and his talent ensures that My Day can absorb damage without prematurely exiting Vendetta mode. Both of My Day's enhanced skills have received updates. Kingslayer Be King now consumes 35% of My Day's current HP to deal 110% of his max HP as imaginary DMG to a single target and 66% to adjacent targets. It automatically activates at the start of My Day's turn during Vendetta mode. While this skill is in use, My Day cannot accumulate additional charge, encouraging careful timing for maximum impact. My Day's traces also received impactful tweaks. His first trace ensures that if My Day has death-proof during Vendetta mode, he won't exit the mode when taking fatal damage. Instead, his HP drops to 1, allowing him to stay in the fight. His second trace makes him immune to crowd control effects while in Vendetta mode, which is crucial for a character designed to tank and retaliate. Additionally, the Bloodied Chitin trace boosts his crit rate by 1.6% for every 100 points of max HP exceeding 5,000, up to a maximum increase of 48%. Moving on to Eidolons, the changes have introduced both buffs and trade-offs. The Eidolons for My Day have introduced notable changes that significantly affect his playstyle and potential. At E1, My Day's damage in Vendetta mode gains an edge by ignoring 15% of enemy defense, while 40% of any incoming healing is converted into charge points, reinforcing his reliance on HP-focused builds. The E2 upgrade transforms Godslayer Be God into an AoE attack, allowing it to apply the same damage multiplier to all enemies as it does to the primary target, which greatly enhances My Day's potential as an AoE damage dealer. The adjustments at E4 restore 10% of My Day's max HP whenever death-proof is triggered. While this adds to his survivability, it feels less impactful compared to the previous version, which also provided bonuses to crit and healing, leaving some players feeling underwhelmed. Finally, at E6, the charge requirement for Godslayer Be God is reduced to 100 points, and My Day can enter Vendetta mode at the start of battle. This significantly improves his efficiency and makes E6 a powerful investment for those seeking to maximize his potential in both survivability and damage output. The revamped My Day introduces exciting mechanics, particularly for players who enjoy tanky, high-risk, high-reward characters. His reliance on HP-focused builds and synergy between Death-Proof, Charge, and Vendetta mode makes him a unique choice for strategic play. However, some adjustments, such as the simplification of enhanced skill mechanics and changes to Eidolons, might leave players with mixed feelings, especially those who can't afford high Eidolon investment. For free-to-play players, My Day's base kit is still powerful and viable without Eidolons, thanks to his strong scaling and survivability. But if you aim to unlock his full potential, particularly the AoE damage at E2, investing in Eidolons may be necessary. One of the most interesting aspects of My Day's rework is how clearly the developers have responded to feedback from earlier beta tests. If you remember, we previously talked about how beta testers were deeply frustrated with My Day's original kit. They described it as clunky, inefficient, and lacking synergy, leaving players wondering if he was even worth pulling for. Those criticisms didn't go unheard. This rework feels like a direct response to that feedback. The developers have addressed some of the biggest issues testers had with My Day, particularly his survivability and flow in battle. His ultimate, for instance, was entirely reworked to include the death-proof mechanic, which not only makes him tankier, but also allows him to maintain his stance and retaliate even after taking fatal damage. This was a key concern for testers who felt his initial design left him too vulnerable in high-stakes situations. Testers had previously criticized how disconnected My Day's skills felt, but the new charge mechanic ties his kit together in a way that feels cohesive and strategic. By linking his abilities to HP loss and Vendetta mode, the developers have created a character whose strengths lie in the interplay between taking damage and dealing it out. That said, not all feedback seems to have been implemented perfectly. The simplification of his enhanced skills and some tweaks to his Eidolons, like the rework of E4, have left some players feeling like parts of his kit were watered down. It's clear the developers are aiming to make My Day a viable and engaging unit while balancing the needs of free-to-play and high-investment players. Whether or not the current version hits the mark is up for debate, but it's a significant step forward compared to where he started. This rework is a great example of how player feedback can shape a character's development. If you were hesitant about My Day after hearing earlier impressions, this might be the perfect time to take another look. Let's hope the developers continue to refine and balance My Day's kit in response to community input as we head toward his official release. What are your thoughts on My Day's rework? Are you planning to pull for him or waiting for more changes? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Save up to 23% on the Herta banner at lootbar.gg. All you need is your UID and server. The link is in the description.